Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, how do you feel about this bad boy right here? The Evercade. Do you still have big love for this? I sure do. Let me tell you guys, for me, the Evercade, as I travel, has been one of my go-tos when I'm out in, whether it's, I'm going hiking, I'm going to remote places like that, where maybe I'm going some areas that are a little more, how would I say, less secure. Less secure than other areas. Maybe I don't want to take my Nintendo Switch. I don't want to take out anything flashy. This has been a great go-to for me. And especially when I'm out, hiking in the Philippines, exploring different things out there, going through nature. This is my go-to console above anything else that I have. Why is that? First of all, guys, battery life. I'm not kidding you. During a power outage, I was able to get like 14 hours overall out of this thing. It could have been that I was playing in television games at the time. This is when the television couldn't get their games out, and they put it out in the Evercade, and I was traveling. But I think it's an underrated machine, and I have the console too. Don't get me wrong. But to me, this is the better experience. I know it's not. I know it's not the most popular opinion, but for me, right, a person who's on the go, a person who travels, it's better for me to have this. Now, in the house in the Philippines, I do have the console installed there, but for the most part, I use this. I use this, and I think they have a great concept going. It's lasted now a few years, as you know, and it's just been great, man. It's just been great because it takes you back to what gaming used to be. Now, people have different opinions about the delivery of the system, about how the cartridges function with the console. My cartridge is in here, by the way. That's why you can't see it. But to me, it's a great experience. The price point, especially when it started, was right there. Show you my few ones. My see, yeah, this one's still in here. Make sure it doesn't fall out. This is my Data East, of course, with my Burger Time on it. I have the Interplay collection. I'm just going to show you some of the ones that I have that I've had fun with over time. And I usually just pick one. For some reason, I tend to gravitate towards the Intellivision titles, probably because it's my time even more than the Atari, which I also have, by the way. Right, I have the Atari 1 collection. But that's one of them. The second one are, let's see, here we go. Jalico. That's another one that I pop in quite frequently. And, of course, there's Atari Arcade and Atari Collection, right? Probably Atari Arcade, I would say, I go more for than the Atari Collection itself. And Galico is another one. I have the Technos. And, of course, Data East. Now, guys, to me, when an idea is good, when a business plan is solid, it lasts, right? They did at the time. They did at the time what Intellivision couldn't do. They had a good, solid business plan. They worked within their limitations. They didn't go for, trying to compete with the Nintendo or what have you. They stayed in their lane. They gave us the retro games, all those games that Tommy was promising, right? They were delivering, right? And it was exactly what people wanted. You'd be surprised how successful you can be when you deliver people the things that they want. And you deliver them at a fair price, right? I've dropped money on these games, of course, and some of them have become more valuable over time, right? They're about to reveal something new. I don't know what it is. But I'm really going to pay attention because it might be something that I might be into, right? At this point in my collecting career, let me tell you guys, there's a few things that I want to play on a PlayStation, and a PlayStation 5 is going to be it for me. The generation, these new generations of consoles just don't make any sense, and that's another video that's following this one that I'm going to make. But to me, I'm going to start looking back, and I'm going to start looking at the big three retro companies right now. Make a separate video about that, because I think there are new leaders. There are new leaders in retro, modern retro, if you will, that are establishing a new market for us. Right? We don't have to stay stuck with the Xbox or the PlayStation or Nintendo. We can go our own way. I think that for the most part, and to the detriment of Nintendo, they're not making the games that we necessarily might want to play. We like the games that they made before, and they're not making those anymore, right? So maybe we just look towards the past. I know that's what I'm doing, is I'm curing my collections. I want to make sure that I have all the Nintendo games that I wanted, whether it's things like Metroid games, collections from the past, especially on the 2DS, 3DS platforms. I want to go back to those, and I'm really getting back into handhelds. But I'm telling you, this right here, guys, it's underrated. It really is underrated, at least to me. At least to me, as far as the playability, the D-pad is comfortable, the buttons are comfortable, and as far as being on the go, if you're going to areas where you're not going to have cell phone service, in areas where they're remote, in areas where you might be running into trouble as far as power, having enough battery for your phone and all that stuff, and you still want to get in a good quality of game, especially if you're going camping, guys. To me, it has been the best for me, especially if I'm going to very rustic areas where there's very little infrastructure, but nature is everywhere. The kind of places you like to explore. This really has been outstanding for me, and it's and I would take it places. For example, I wouldn't take the Chromatic, or I wouldn't take my Nintendo Switch 2. Right, because it's just, to me, it's more rugged, it's lighter weight, and it's more durable. Right, I don't want to get those expensive machines. I'm not looking to mess up $300, $400 investments that I have on some portable systems out there. And even if I'm talking about, for example, my PSP, I don't want to take it there. I love the PSP, but it's getting up there in years, and I don't want to put it in harm's way, if you will, when I have a better solution here where I could just, plug and play, go. It's going to, if fully charged, I'm going to get enough playing hours for my whole weekend trip. I don't have to worry about that. And, if I do find a place to charge, I can charge it up quickly, and I'm going to have hours of entertainment. Guys, do not sleep on Evercade. I'm not saying, that their entire ecosystem is for everybody. Some maybe people don't like the bar tops or what have you, but the idea of having these cartridges interchangeable with everything, I think, is a great idea. Let me tell you, I think that's an amazing idea of establishing a company that has its own ecosystem, that where you buy a game, you can put it in different devices. To me, that's a winner, guys, and I think they're doing a good job. This is underrated. If you haven't tried it, try it. If you go, if you do any of those activities, right? If you love the outdoors, this right here might be for you if you're a retro gamer and if you like cartridge games. All right, guys, just wanted to touch bases with you. This idea came from JJ, by the way, a channel member. Thank you to him. And for those of you who are watching this are channel members, thank you so much for being channel members, guys. Remember, there's Steam codes coming up. There's a Nintendo code coming up, so please stay tuned. Thank you so much, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.